silence him with his gun.
Oh shit.
That bitch.
And it even got weirder when the interviewer started asking Broke for his thoughts about Tupac's murder. But it definitely wasn't as weird as rapper Baby Los getting asked about the Island Boys kissing on camera.
What the fuck?
Baby Los started making a name for himself back in 2020 after linking up with the Island Boys. He hung out with them so much that he got tagged as the 4th Island Boy. But during the interview, this guy dared to ask Los if he saw the viral video of the Island Boys kissing each other.
Gotta ask you, bro. Like, this is everybody wants to know. Did you see the Island Boys kiss, bruh?
That pissed him off, making him flash his Glock.
Like, bruh, stop doing that, bruh. Like, this interview ain't about that. Like, it could go down in this interview, bruh. Like,
He also threatened to take things south if the interviewer asked one more
What
dumb
the
question.
fuck?
do you want it to go down in this interview? Do you want it to go down, yes or no?
Nah, I feel you, bro. It's good, bro. It's good, bro. You feel me?
Coincidentally, it was the same interviewer who made Brokus flash his strap, so I guess it's safe to say he needs to learn how to conduct a proper interview. Just like rapper Lil Kelpie needs to learn to keep his mouth shut to avoid getting beat up during an interview. California rappers Lil Kelpie and Almighty Suspect got invited to the No Jumper podcast. And at the start of the interview, Adam22 questioned Kelpie about his former YouTube program and the cops pulling over to his home with a search warrant.
They were suspicious of you.
Yeah, they were trying to say that I was like, drug dealing or something like that.
Okay.
And
But you don't have a
obviously-
case as a result of this?
Nah, I never heard back from him, honestly.
Then it got a little dark when Adam asked Almighty Suspect for his opinion on Kelpie wearing a dollar chain and fur coat like a pimp on a prior interview he had done.
Oh, this is what pimps is supposed to look like. I got my little dollar sign chain, my little
Yeah,
fur
I got
coat.
two of them.
He talking about I got two
Yeah,
of them.
because you pulled up in a pimp costume.
Now things basically escalated from there, both rappers poking at each other, until Suspect claimed no one knew who Kelpie was, and Kelpie replied by calling him a bitch.
I'm Lil
Who are
Kelpie,
you? No
Kelpie
one
the
knows
pimp.
you.
Kelpie the motherfucking
Can't be the
pimp.
clown. Who you calling a bitch
Frank,
though?
I'm calling you a bitch.
Beating the fuck. Oh my god. How do you spit on a man and get beat up? Well, how do you spit on a nigga and beat a nigga ass? That's just tough. But how do you sit there, get spit on, and beat up? Nigga watched his fate happen.
Kelpie the
Can't
motherfucking
be the
pimp.
clown. Who you calling a bitch though?
I'm calling you a bitch.
That's crazy.
Kelpie the motherfucking pimp.
That's crazy. We gotta look at this.
Bitch though.
He's in there. Who you calling a bitch to, nigga? Who? Who, nigga?
I'm calling you a bitch.
Man, got the squabbling. Squabbling that man.
Bam! Just like that, these two got into a brawl. Members of the No Jumper
Squabbling that
security
man.
had to step in to break
Is
up the fight
Suspect
within
even
seconds.
still there?
But this was just one more reminder that a lot of crazy things go down on the No Jumper podcast. Like the time when No Jumpers Flacco and the guest 16 Shot 'em began spitting on each other for
A
some
spit
crazy
battle.
stuff.
These
Flacco
niggas
blamed
with
16
spit
for
battles
something he
is
pulled back
crazy.
in 22, and with 16 trying to defend himself, things got out of hand, and this happened.
Bro, that's a.
Hey, stop
bro.
playing before I
Hey,
smack the
bro,
shit out you.
do it.
These niggas having a
That's not
spit
the worst
battle,
thing that ever happened
folks.
on this show, like the
What
time
is up with No
Scott
Jumper
Walker
and the
of
spit
FBG
battles?
got killed just months after running his mouth at Lil Durk. And for some context
fuck?
here, FBG
This get
Cash
dark,
took a
don't it?
disrespectful photo in front of the King Von mural painted on a wall around the Chicago apartment building in Parkway Gardens, where Von grew up. And not long after taking that photo, he went on No Jumper, detailing the conversation he had with Lil Durk to Adam22. In his words, he said,
What kind of conversation were you having before he told you to go take this photo?
Me, go over there and do that and see what happened to you. I'm outside right now.
You hit him up?
What the fuck? This nigga said he fuck me, fuck him. That nigga said go over there and see what happened if you do that. Nigga said I'm over there right now. No, this is crazy, y'all.
That escalated things out of proportion as Lil Durk dropped a subtle diss to FBG Cash in his song, Computer Murderers, when he said, "Sneaking pics by Von Mural like Lil Bro won't come out and spin. And just 3 months later,
Wow.
FBG Cash got smoked.
Wow.
Southside rapper was killed this morning after a gunman armed with a rifle opened fire on his car. 31-year-old Tristan Hamilton performed under the name FBG.
There's
Wow.
increased beef between both Southside groups.
That's
FBG
tough.
and O-Block.
That
There
is
would be
tough.
another FBG member who would get targeted next. And I'm talking about FBG Butta. Butta's known for being a real street dude with a long rivalry with King Von before he died. Butta once jumped Von on a school bus and fought plenty of other dudes like L.A., Chief Keef, T-Roy, and Nuwop. But it wasn't until
Butta
his
fighting
interview with
everybody,
St.
huh?
Cheese where he unconsciously confessed to the killing of another rival, O.D. Berry, that made Butta put himself in the spotlight for the wrong reasons.
What about the picture that
Take
went?
me to jail. Give me the cups.
Yo, Butter. What
I'll
about
take you.
what about the picture that went viral with Muwop wearing with the duck sneakers?
That's clown.
After that interview, Butta got to sit down with Vlad for another interview. This time, he indirectly pinned OD's death on his deceased sister, K.I.
They're saying that she was the shooter. That's the rumor.
I mean, it's footage. It's actually it's a video.
Of Odie Perry getting killed?
Yeah, yeah.
And you saw it?
I ain't seen nothing, man. I just heard the stories, bro.
Okay.
He talking about, I just heard the
This to avoid getting
story.
probed for OD's murder. Nonetheless, Butta may have not been telling the full truth here because on the night of August 10th, 2011, sometime before midnight, O.D. Berry rode his bike over to a Swisher store, and after getting some Swisher, was riding back to his apartment complex when a car pulled up beside him, and a masked gunman came out, firing 2 shots at O.D. and jumping back into the vehicle to speed off.
Damn.
Thing. As Odie fell off his bike, some of his close friends rushed him to the hospital, where he died a few hours later. But when questioned by the cops, those eyewitnesses claimed the shooter was an African-American male. This disputes the idea that Butta's sister, K.I., took the drop on O.D. Now, speaking of
We
getting
just
dropped, this
listening
next
to the
rapper,
goddamn
BTB
witnesses.
Savage, got
Oh,
shot
gone.
dead after a disturbing interview with Vlad TV.
Yeah, I remember that.
Looking for
That's
people who
tough.
gunned down a San Antonio rapper in Houston last week. Family has identified the victim as Darrell Gentry, better known as BTB Savage.
Some say the interview with Vlad led to his death.
It
Not
definitely
only because
did.
he was killed 4 days after that video dropped on YouTube, but because he talked about how he and his girlfriend killed a man who tried to rob him. And we get it. The story's already complicated, but we'll try to break it down. According to Savage, a local rapper had been trying to get a feature from him, so he agreed. However, when this rapper pulled up to Savage's apartment, he came with a car full of other dudes, one of whom was a guy named Omar Richardson. It was a weird situation, with this rapper and Omar looking over Savage's crib while sizing him up. They brought out some musical equipment and acted like they were about to start recording. But all of a sudden, this rapper claimed he'd forgotten some stuff in his car and went outside to get it. At this point, Savage knew these dudes were up to no good, so he reached for his door to lock it. However, once he did, that Omar dude brought in his strap, yelling for Savage to take off his chains and other jewelry. Savage complied, but as Omar was about to grab him from the floor, Savage took the opportunity and tried wrestling Omar to the ground. Luckily for him, Omar's strap fell out of his hand, and this was the moment Savage yelled out to his girlfriend to come in and use the gun. She picked it up and popped Omar twice, but out of fear, dropped the gun again, allowing Omar to pick it up and fire 3 shots at her. Thankfully, they all missed, and Savage was able to get back in control. Now at this point, the rapper who wanted Savage's feature was outside shooting through the door with other gang members, and one of the bullets hit Savage while he was on the ground. That's when Savage's girl held it down for him by firing 2 shots back at him, making them run away and leaving Omar to die. At this point, Omar was bleeding and losing consciousness fast. BTB Savage didn't want to kill him because his son was in there, but Omar was still trying to fight. So Savage's girl shot him 2 more times, killing him on the spot.
Dang.
Savage had to call one of his homeboys to come by and drive him to the hospital because he was losing a lot of blood.
I go to the hospital, bro. I just got shot in my bone, bro. Bro, you got shot. He was like, bro, where you at? I'm like, I'm downtown at the spot at my crib. He was like, oh, I was out eating with a bitch or whatever, bro. Like, I'm 7 minutes away. I'm about to turn lift to the crib. I'm like, bet. So boom, he pull up, he swing around. I jump in the car. We go to the hospital. Shit, I pass out for like.
Now, Savage and his girl, who probably deserves a girlfriend award for how she stood on business, got off on self-defense claims. Savage would go on to narrate everything like I just did in his interview with Vlad TV. with that video getting more than 3 million views in less than a week. But one thing in the interview stood out, and it was the way BTB Savage spoke about the incident. He was on that gangster don't mess with me type of and Vlad noticed that, making him ask this question.
I mean, are you at all concerned that his people are gonna try to come back?
Yeah, they for sure might do. They might do what they do, but I'm gonna get active. That's all it is, and it is what it is. It's on the floor. It'll be smoke forever. Fuck.
March 30th, 2023. Savage posted photos to his Twitter showing the floor of his apartment stained with Omar's blood. He also captioned the post, "Too much motion," basically trolling the dude. But just like Vlad suspected, Omar's people came back for vengeance. Just 2 hours after posting the photos, he was on his way to the airport to leave the city, as he kind of suspected Omar's people might have wanted to avenge his death that night. And as he drove in his Mercedes, his car was boxed by gunmen, and he was shot dead. And looking back at it, maybe it wasn't the interview that caused his death. Could have been the post was the trigger that made Omar's people pull the trigger. While we'll never know what truly went down in their minds, Kevin Gates' mentality might have to be questioned after he said in this interview that he wouldn't mind another dude hitting on his girl as long as she recorded it. If you know Kevin Gates, you know he's on some...
you already know he on some freaky shit. Leave that shit alone.